everybody. I am Arvelyn Lewis. You probably already know that, but if you didn't, I'm Arvelyn Lewis. I sell real estate and I also love to travel. So sometimes when you see me, I may be traveling. So today I have, let me take these off so I can actually see. I have the auspicious pleasure, I think that's the right word, to be talking to the wonderful, the inspirational Aunt Shirley. She has a YouTube channel where she shares survival tips. And I got to tell you, she is truly my aunt. Everybody calls her aunt. If they don't call her aunt, they call her Nana. If it's not Nana, they call her mother. And it's been that way for a couple of decades. So I have the pleasure to share with her today, to share with you. And we hope to give you some great survival tips as she shares from her childhood, love, ups, downs, lots of things just about how she got to be 92, right?
And in 3 months, I'll be 93.
93 in 3 months. So
yes.
Let's talk to Aunt Shirley and learn some things that hopefully will help you become a better person and carry you on to 93 and beyond. So let's go. Let's talk about it. You were born in 1931, right?
1931.
Okay.
That was a long time ago, but I have been blessed and also had other things. But the Lord blessed me to be here, and I am so grateful to have my niece with me.
Yes, I'm grateful to have her.
I just think it's so exciting when families can get together and do, and we're trying to do something here. Share
good.
My tips.
Yes.
And don't you think almost a century?
A century.
Just
so we don't forget, I want to make sure it's survival tips.
Yeah,
with Aunt Shirley.
On YouTube. Just come on over to YouTube. You'll find me on Survival Tips from Aunt Shirley. And I talked about living without electricity. I was 12 years old before we had electricity in our house. I learned to live, and it wasn't that bad. And it might get back to that. But I have learned so many things. I've done so many things. And I learned to survive. Mm-hmm. I want to share it with you. Because sometimes we shoot ourselves in the foot if we don't know what to do. I just want you to come on over to YouTube. Survival Tips from Aunt Shirley. I bet you learn a little bit.
Okay. So starting with when you were a child, can you share some things about growing up on a farm and the relationship that you had with your family, your parents, maybe some things that they gave you as a child that you may still be using today?
I do use it today. I live in a big city and I have a garden. A big garden too. My mom had like a couple of acres of garden. Because my father had his own land back in the day. He did that. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, but she told me about when I was a little girl. Now, I grew up where we had to eat vegetables. We grew our food. We grew it. We bought maybe, we didn't grow rice. It mattered we had to go get sugar and flour or maybe a little stuff like that, but we grew everything. And my father was smart enough to have all kind of fruit trees. And when we needed fruit or wanted fruit, we just go out and pick it on the tree. And my mother knew how to can it in a jar. We could eat it in the winter months too, but it was from a jar, but we had that. She grew everything in the garden. Mm-hmm. She even grew eggplant. She didn't even eat them. She said it was pretty. So she wanted some purple in her garden. And so she did that. Collard greens, string beans, all that. And every day we ate the same thing when I was looking, and it was delicious. It would either be cornbread and greens with a little piece of meat in there from the hogs. We grew hogs. And then if it wasn't green peas and beans, on Sunday we had chicken and rice and biscuit. We looked forward to it as though we was having Thanksgiving dinner. Nobody went to the hospital. We were all very healthy. Nobody was fat, and we worked hard. We did what my father told us. He always told us, you have to have your own land. He had 9 of us. Every one of us had our own home. And I think that's what I learned as a child. I don't want to be asking somebody to give me something when I can do it for myself. Mm-hmm. That's one of the main things. And my mother taught us to be kind. Never steal, because I remember stealing an apple one time and she beat me like I killed somebody. Never steal.
Okay.
And always have your own.
Yeah.
That's my major thing that I learned from being a little girl.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you grow things in your garden here.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I noticed that one of the things while I've been visiting you, you had this packet. Can you tell me what this is?
I have 2 Meyer lemon trees. And I go out there and beautiful lemons, say Myers, and they're so nice and sweet. And I take these lemons, wash them, because birds are out there. You need to wash them before you do anything. Cut them in half, squeeze them, and I put them in this little packet. I ordered this from Amazon, and I put them in the freezer. When I need some, and I do need it for tea, that I use tea in the morning, drink my hot tea, and I drink coffee too. So I have coffee first, then I have my tea. And I have just lemon, and I also use ginger root. And I grow ginger root too. But I can't grow enough, so I buy it, and then I peel it, and I have a little grinder that I put in this. See, I'm going to put it a little closer. See what it looks consistent? And I put a spoonful, maybe half a spoonful, in with my hot ginger water, and maybe a little honey if I want to. If I don't, I just have it plain. And I do think that helped me with my digestion and my complexion. I just feel like the stuff that I've grown in my farm, I call it. It's not a big farm, but I got everything. I got onions, tomatoes, collards in the city.
Yes.
In containers. Awesome. Some of it's in containers, some in the ground.
That's
I even have a fig tree. And I was so excited that it would grow here. And I plan to put so much more in the ground because I'm learning. I'm learning how to do things in the city because, they have zone. I'm in zone. Well, whatever my zone is, I had to learn from that. And when you want to grow something, you should find out what zone you're in so you know what fertilizer you use or what time to plant it. So that's my hint from about the garden.
I appreciate that because I know that this is one of the things that I did learn from you is taking ginger to help with digestion.
Yes.
And I eat it with almost everything that I cook because it tastes really good.
It tastes good. It's healthy.
It's healthy and it's better than seasoning with a lot of salt.
That's right.
Yeah, so I like that. I learned a lot from her. So you use aloe vera a lot. Do you still grow aloe in your yard?
I would not live anywhere. Even if I didn't have a backyard, I have a pot in my house. I would have that because it's a healing plant. It's actually the only healing plant in the Bible. They say it's a healing plant.
Wow.
So get your aloe. Oh, it's in the aloe. Well, it's a lot of aloes. Aloe something, aloe this, aloe that. But aloe vera is the healing plant.
You are right.
So everybody, please listen to me today. My tip for today is get an aloe vera plant in your apartment if you live in an apartment.
Awesome.
But if you have your own house, put them in the yard. Not just 1, 2, or 3 of them.
Awesome.
And there your doctor out there going to heal you and get burned.
I love it. Okay, so something that your mother and or father gave you that you use today. I know you talk a lot about your mother. There's a lot of love there.
Oh my God. I'm thinking some of the things that I do use today is making sure that I eat correctly. Making sure that I stay in contact with God.
Yes.
I'm a God-fearing person.
Yes.
Whatever you may want to call me, I think I call myself, I know things because I know God would back me. And I have been through so many trials and tribulation. I gave birth to 7 children. They was not babies when they born. All of them gone but one.
Amen.
And to go through burying your child, when you think they're going to bury you, but I have one left, and we close, and I'm glad for that. But I know one thing. It's nothing like losing a child. Nothing. And I lost 6. One was a baby, and one was 16. The other were adults. So we had built a rapport with each other. It wasn't a thing. It was a newborn. It was the oldest one, I think, was like 47. So you know that person for a while, and it's not easy. But my mom and dad gave me this inroad to God that I can trust Him. And I have also had near-death experience, and I know with another God to save me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that to you. That's some of the things that I do use today.
Amen.
And I'm so glad for that.
Amen. I appreciate that, because that's the same thing that was passed through my mother, your sister, on how to depend on God and
that's
know that God is the foundation on what we stand on. So you speak, if you want to talk about that one, you said all 6 of them have already passed on, but there is one that was more specific than some of the others. You want to talk about Oswald a little bit?
Oswald was, I think I might tear up about Oswald. He was like, he looked like me, he acted like me, and I didn't want to make a difference. You don't supposed to make a difference in your children, but he stuck closer to me. He even learned to do hair. I'm a beautician. He hung around me enough to know he first started doing his sister's hair. In the morning, I'd get up my comb hair and get them out. Which one do you mean? And I taught him how to braid.
Mm-hmm.
I taught him how to press hair. I taught him how to be a barber.
Mm-hmm.
And on Saturday, I would close the shop early so he could do barbering of his friends, his schoolmates, and their father. Because when he did such a good job on those young guys, their fathers came.
Oh,
so
wow.
he had a shop full of people on Saturday.
Okay.
And I lost that one. That was my second that I lost, and it just broke my heart. But he was a lot like me, and I just appreciate God letting me have him for those 16 years. That's when he left me.
How did you lose him?
A policeman shot him in the back. And Berkeley, I maybe shouldn't say that, but it just popped out. I didn't mean to do that. But they shot him in the back, and it was just, it never got resolved. It never did. I don't know, but it made me a different person. Because I hadn't went to school. I decided I couldn't do anything. Because here I'm a poor black woman, just hadn't had but a little bit of college. I went back to school. I didn't stop until I got my PhD. And I'm thankful that the Lord, I lost my son, but it booted me up to make me want to do a lot more than I was doing.
So the energy that was a negative pushed into a positive.
That's right. I made lemonade out of lemons. Yes, I did.
Yeah. So we're grateful that you were encouraged to keep going in spite of having him lost by police brutality.
Exactly.
And it's great. It's great that you were able to use that energy for good.
Yes. Thank you. I did that. But, I want anybody to know you can overcome anything. You don't have to let that take you out. I was down for a long time, and then I kept losing. He was just my second child, and I lost, 4 more? It was not easy. Losing a child is one of the hardest things that you could do. Yeah,
I'm sorry that you had that much loss.
But I ended up raising their children.
Raising their children.
So maybe I got a second chance. I don't know what you call that.
Right.
Because I was back in doing the same thing I did for them.
So you birthed 7 people, and 6 of them have already gone before you.
Yes.
And then some of those, because one of them was an infant when he passed on.
Right.
Some of them that you raised their children.
Right.
Okay. You want to talk about them?
Well, yeah, they're doing very well. Some of them are doing well, just like anything else. My granddaughter, she's just getting a new job with the police department. I have one daughter, one granddaughter, she's working with Homeland Security. And I have another daughter, she's into the beauty business. She got her own business. And I'm just grateful that all of them are doing well. And one of my grandson, he's doing insurance, so. And then I have another one that's a little bit closer, because he always comes. And my grandson, Shadeen, he's in charge of a fitness center.
Okay.
And he's doing very well. I'm so grateful for him, because I know he's going to smile when I call his name. Yeah. Hi, Shadeen.
Yeah.
But that's part of it.
Yeah.
And now I got a new great-grandbaby. And I'm just grateful that those second chances, they still around. They're doing good.
Okay.
When everybody don't do well, but the one that did, I think they should give praise. And I don't down the one that didn't do well. They got to come into their own.
Absolutely.
I did what I could do to raise them.
Right.
Because I had 9 in my house for years. It wasn't a weekend thing.
Yeah.
To try to feed that many kids at my age.
Yeah.
I was in my 70s.
Yeah. That's
So the Lord blessed me, and I still laugh. I have things to be grateful for, and
Amen.
I thank God for that.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to stop for just a moment,
Okay.
and then we'll resume and talk a little bit more.
Sounds wonderful.
Awesome. Okay, so you talked a little bit about your education, and I know that it's really something very interesting about your education that I'd like you to share. You said that you went to college and you got your master's.
Yes.
Tell me more about that master's part, because it was interesting, and I know for a long time I was so proud of you for being a doctor, but then you stopped talking about it. Tell me about that.
Well, I was afraid to talk about it at first because I got caught up in these, how they have these scams and different things. And I don't know I guess you would call it that. But I was so excited to be able to afford to go and get a PhD. I was working on my master's, and I found out about this program where I could go to school and study. And they didn't have the online thing. But they had it was a way that you could get your PhD by studying at home. And we was given 4 books per month. I had to go to class for 18 months for once a month, every month. But each month you would get 4 books on nutrition, because I studied nutrition. And I was so excited. I worked so hard. Because I had a beauty shop, I had the 6 children, and I'm driving to San Francisco just once a month. But that means when you got 4 books, you got to work on 1 book per week. And I worked hard because sometimes I would stay up all night. Especially when it's time for the test to come up. I wanted to pass. Now, I did pass them all. It was a struggle because I was running a beauty shop too. And I had to fixing myself while I was cooking up. I was training my girls how to help me with the cooking and the washing or whatever. Because they was teenagers by this time. So I wouldn't try to leave home with little babies. I waited till I was in high school. And that way I went. And I was so excited. I went down to L.A. and went through all the classes, went through the graduation exam. It was like 4,000 of us, not in one time, all over the United States. And I was paying by the month. I'm doing fine. Yeah, just a little poor girl. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to do that. But I was so excited about finding it. We had the graduation, and I had this PhD on my wall for 18 years.
18 years in my office. Yeah.
In my office. And I was excited. I never bragged about it, but I had learned. The total books I read was 78 books in those 18 months. So I had to get something.
You definitely got something.
How'd you go read 78 books and not learn something out of them?
Right.
Another thing, I got a chance to meet Linus Pauling. Any of you know who Linus Pauling is? He's the father of vitamin C.
Okay.
He was at UC Berkeley. I lived in then. I was going to school there part-time. So I got to meet him.
That's Linus who?
Pauling.
Linus Pauling, and he was the founder of vitamin C?
Yeah, he was. We always call him the father of
vitamin C.
Vitamin C. He's the one discovered it or whatever it was. But I was excited because to me he was somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got to do that. I met a lot because the teachers, sometimes the authors would come. Mm-hmm. And they were legitimate doctors.
Legitimate doctors teaching classes at UC somebody. We don't want to say where it was.
No, we don't, because it was not. The owner, I guess, of the college did not have it right. He just put it out there. He didn't, I guess he's supposed to pay taxes and supposed to register and whatever it was. And I found out they put him in jail because he was doing like something happened here with the United States where it was a college that wasn't, I won't call the name.
Everybody wasn't properly accredited.
He wasn't accredited.
Okay.
And we was all learning. It was all over. It wasn't just one. So I didn't feel too stupid. I didn't like the idea.
Stupid, but you shared with me that you were not proud.
I was not
as
proud
you should have been of that degree.
Going to a not accredited college, how could you be proud?
Mm-hmm.
But I learned.
You learned the information.
I had a business in doing hair in the first place. Mm-hmm. I wasn't going to open a business. I couldn't afford to open because when you open up a business in nutrition, you got to have a lot more than I had. And I was doing fine doing in the beauty business anyway. Okay. So, but the knowledge is what I was going for.
Okay.
And I wanted to show my children that you can do. I wanted them to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily in nutrition, but whatever their heart decides, they can do. If their mother did it, you can do it.
Sure.
But then when I found out that I need to take my little, nobody told me to take it down. They didn't tell me to take it down.
Yeah, but it just hurt your heart.
People were asking me, and I did not want to say what had happened about that college because a lot of my friends had opened business in nutrition. Mm-hmm. They would have lost
their business.
What would it benefit me to spread the news? That So I just didn't say anything about it. I was ashamed. I didn't say nothing about this degree. I just took it off the wall. Yeah. It's in a box right now. Sure. But I did earn it.
She's always been Dr. Shirley Sanders to me. Okay.
I earned it,
but whoever that guy that didn't get properly accredited, she's been Dr. Shirley to me. Okay.
I don't let them call me that. because of the circumstances.
Yes.
If you're going to do it right. But I didn't know because it was on the wall. Like I said, 18 years.
18 years as a doctor, and then finding that it was not properly accredited after you've done the work and paid for the degree. She's Dr. Sanders to me. Okay. So I still want to talk about education though, because from the community that you grew up in, what was the standard? What was the standard?
What happened at this? I was in the rural what I grew up in. Mm-hmm. They only had 8th grade.
8th grade education was,
and it was in the church. The church, one big building, housed everybody. Mm-hmm. 1 to 8th grade.
Okay.
And the sad part about it, the teacher had 8th grade education.
Wow. Was it one teacher?
One teacher for
all 8th grade. Okay, all 8 grades.
One.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we learned our ABCs. We learned how to write. We learned how to do all that stuff. We couldn't go to the white schools. We had to go to school. So that was my beginnings.
Okay. Now, what did the white schools, what was their maximum of education that was provided?
Oh, they had to have, you could not teach in that school if you didn't have some college education.
Okay. And did they go to 8th grade or did they go to 10th?
Well, they had buses. They had buses. We did not. They had buses that would pick them up.
Okay.
And take them to their schools. Mm-hmm.
Now,
later on, after I went away to school, they had buses later on. But this is where I was going on about my business. I got married and everything when this come about. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have the ability to ride the bus. I have been, hey, ain't you cold? And my father was paying taxes and they were sharecropping. But that's the way it was. And, it's just the way it happened in the South. That's where I grew up at.
Okay.
But anyway.
So you came from a community that the maximum education was
8th grade.
8th grade. And you went on to get your master's degree or doctorate, PhD.
I did that one.
Okay.
Like I said, it wasn't. I feel like I still have it. If anybody want to see it, the only reason I wasn't the name of the college, I don't
want anybody else to be harmed.
It would be harm for her because you don't put all your time in. You're doing good because you afford nutritional vitamins and stuff to stores. And then you're going to get shot down because you got
somebody. Because Donald Trump was teaching.
That's what he did. It was the same concept. It really
the same
was.
Concept.
But the only thing I think about was different. We had real teachers. He didn't have no teachers. That way anybody would go there and teach, I guess. But we had teachers. We had classes. We had tests. And we had books.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Shirley Sanders.
It's all right. Any way you want to say it's all right. I'm fine.
So, Dr. Shirley Sanders, tell us about some of the businesses that you built.
Okay. I was the little person. You can see I'm little and tiny. I'm the smallest person in my whole family. Little. And so my mother told me, you will have to have a good education because you can't pick up nothing, you can't do nothing. And I'm the little one. So she made sure that I went to school. I went away to a boarding school. Mm-hmm. Never heard of that. None of us in there. But one of the ladies that came to, and I married into our community, she was an educated lady. And I was doing her hair because I started doing hair when I was little. I mean, real small. No license, just doing hair. 50 cents a head. I was just really rough. That was it. Now, we're talking about 1930s now. You understand that?
Because you were born in 31.
I was born in 31, and I was a little baby, maybe 41 I was doing it.
Okay.
You know, that's still a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But anyway, she came and I would do her hair. Mm-hmm. I would do her hair, and what she gave me 50 cents or 75, whatever. That was a lot of money.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So so anyway, the buses stopped running. I had to go to the city on the Tri-State or the Greyhound bus, and it went on strike. I just thought I was going to die. I was not going to be able to finish school. What? She told me, she said, Shirley, I'm going to ask your mother that you go to the boarding school. I didn't even know what a boarding school was. What is a boarding school?
Right.
So she told me where the girls can go on campus and stay and get. Oh, I said, oh, okay. I was so happy. So she told my mom that she would look after me if I wanted to go to school because I was smart. Yeah, me. She said I was smart. But anyway, I went. I got there. My mom had taught me so I was a cook.
Okay.
I was 15 years old when I went there.
15 cooking.
15, and I got to my cooking. I could cook grits with no lumps in them. I could fix the bologna. It wasn't
not quick grits. No, we're not talking them quick things in the box.
Dish pan, what you used to dish pans full of grits. I could do that, and I would do the bologna. What was in the bowl? Because I would cut it, and the whole place looked different. I was just good at what I did. I made the best scrambled eggs and a loaf of bread. That was everybody's breakfast. I could make gravy to go over the grits.
Okay.
And so the teacher stopped going to the teacher's lounge and coming to where I cooked. That went somewhere with me. The teacher started treating me. They would take me with them when they go shopping.
Okay.
So I'm 15 doing all this grown folk stuff.
You were highly favored.
Very highly. And when I got to where I couldn't pay my tuition, my mom and dad would sell eggs to help with my tuition. I'd cook, but then they couldn't pay. They couldn't pay enough because they didn't have nothing to sell. And I just was going to have to go home. But I went to the president of the school and I asked them, please give me a job. I don't care what it is. I'm going to cook in the morning. It should be a job that I can do, that I can pay my own tuition or some of it. And the president's wife said, you can tutor the little kids math. And I did that, like 3rd grade.
Okay.
I was a teacher then.
Okay.
I'm a chef and a teacher.
This is 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my jobs. And then later on, I got my own business. I still like to do hair.
Okay.
I was pretty good at that. And I went back to school to learn some more things. And I learned how to do some extra stuff. I learned how to do hair extensions, weaving, very early. I could put those weaves on and do really well. I was thankful for that because I have friends all over now that I used to do that. I can't do it now because I'm 93 years old. But I did, since I've been who I am now, they would fly here for me to do their hair.
I know of someone that was high in Washington that used to do their hair. We can't say who it is. But
I go up there 7 years I went to D.C. I went to D.C. to fix their hair. But anyway, I met friends and I'm just glad because I just really am thankful. That was a gift that I had that my mother said, you cannot sit down and do nothing. You have to work. You have to work. You stealing time will kill your mother. And I when I stole that apple, she beat me so bad. So they whip you then. They don't whip you now, but they whip you then. When I was a little girl, but I'm thankful. So I ended up opening a shop, and the shop was very lucrative because I did things. I worked with the doctors because I learned how to work with Medicare, where they would, like a person that lose their hair, and it's maybe from a burn.
Okay.
And I learned how to make pieces, have pieces to fix, or either give them wig after they leave from chemo.
That you made.
That I would make. Sometimes when you just had chemo, if the hair's going to come back, I would just buy them a cheap wig to make them look like they never lost their hair. Because when they get sick, I would come by the shop, let me see you. I can match your hair now. So you can not ever have to be bald-headed. Because their hair's going to come back. Some of them would. Some of them not. But
right.
We just take that a day at a time, help them out. I learned to work with the doctors. Then I was glad to do that. But then I remember one person that I really was special about. I thought she needed me because she worked in a prison. She worked there. Somebody stole some boiling water on her hair. She lost the whole side of her hair.
Oh, wow.
And I made her a piece. And I was so proud of myself because she looked very well.
Yeah.
Because
when you were doing it, it was not just a vanity thing. It was because they really needed to have these extensions.
We have hair replacement, hair augmentation is what my position was called.
And when you started doing it, how many people, or could you count how many people were doing that?
Oh, maybe. I don't think. Not even 2. I was one of the only ones.
Not even 2. Okay.
I would fly everywhere try to get more information on what I could do that I didn't know what I could do. I learned. Because we do with the breast. When they have breast cancer and they lose it, the doctor wanted you to have something. Because if you walk around with one breast, it's going to make you one-sided and your back going to be gone out. So they don't want to do back surgery. They want you to be able to equalize this. And so I did that. I bought breasts. And I went to school, learn how to, get them a breast that felt like it was one.
Okay.
I don't know what they do now. They got it where they can do surgery now.
Okay.
But then they didn't have it started. They hadn't started doing
I
that.
didn't know that you did that. That's new information.
Yeah.
Learn something. Okay.
So anyway, I always like what I do, and I was trying to always learn what I wanted my family to be there, involved with me. I wanted them to work, but I started teaching my family how to do it. And a beautician got licensed. I taught them and they go to school and they got their license under me.
Yes.
Yes. So I did that too.
Yeah.
I was glad to be able to.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, one of your children is still doing hair.
She's still doing hair.
She taught me, because back then you couldn't go to the beauty supply store and buy the hair. She taught me how to sew the hair on the sewing machine. She was trying to make me do it too.
I'm family oriented. I love my family. I do.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago. And again, hair weaves were not the major big business that they are now. So it was, you were in high demand with that. I'm thankful. I can always say that the Lord blessed me. Amen. Certainly did. So you talked about your business. Let's talk a little bit about real estate. And you said you opened a few salons.
Yeah. First one was in my house. I first thing I bought a small house. I started in the kitchen, but I helped to add on 4 rooms, and one of them was a beauty shop. I outgrew that. I outgrew the beauty shop. It was just too much. You can only do so much in a home occupation because you're supposed to take up the neighbor's parking place. So I had to go ahead and get out of there. I wanted to leave out anyway.
Okay.
So I went down on one of the main streets, and I found a little terrible looking little place, and I refurbished it. I put it in, and I stayed there 5 years.
Okay.
And after the 5th year, I bought the most beautiful building with 14 parking spaces. I had a good business. It was called Health and Beauty Salon. So I wasn't just doing one thing. I had skincare, all of that. And I was just I really felt proud.
Yeah.
I tried to employ all my family. I did. I tried. So I'm so grateful that I did that. And now I stayed there over 20 years. And it was time for me. I'm getting in my 70s and trying to act like I ain't. Oh, I forgot I was going to get old. It's time for me to stop. I tried so they was where I lived, they would come. So now, after I started losing my children, I just felt like I'm getting too old. I need a life now. Even though I felt like I had a life because I was happy doing what I was doing. I am so thankful that I've been where I am now to almost 25 years, and me and my farm in the backyard is doing just well.
Amen. Sure.
And I just always say I want to know what it feels like to be 100. I have a very few more years to go. I think I might make it.
She gonna make it. She gonna make it. She gonna make it. So, in terms of buying real estate, you had your home that you put a salon in the home.
Yes, I did.
And then you went from the small home to a larger, but not so nice until you put it together.
Yes, right.
Salon that you rented.
Yes.
And from there, you purchased a building and made a business of the salon there.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She did that. Yes, she did that. And this is the woman who came from meager beginnings, where the majority of the people in the community only took on an 8th grade education, master's, and a doctorate to the several businesses. This is history sitting here. Are you taking notes? Okay. Now you said that you bought a house to put your first salon. Well, not to put your first salon in, but that's where you put your first salon. Right. How much did you pay for that house?
That little house, I was so proud of it. $11,500.
$11,500.
2 bedroom with this huge lot.
Okay.
Huge lot, enough to put another house on.
Okay, and you put a garden back there, right?
Big garden, a little shed. A little shed too.
Okay. And did you stay there long?
I did. I stayed there. Yeah. I stayed there a long time. I had went to school, and the kids went to school, and I think when I left there, I think I had dissolved my marriage.
Oh.
And I sold the house.
Okay.
And I bought another location.
Mm-hmm.
Had a garden there too.
Okay. So when you sold that house, how much did you sell it for?
$500.
She said very softly, very lightly, $500.
But it was a lot of land, and it was a nice, 5-bedroom house by now.
Mm-hmm. Now this is called the survival tip. Did you write that down?
Yeah, and when I sold it, I was so grateful to get to 5 for the 11, because a lot of years had expired. I raised my children there, and when I sold it to a person. They went in there and they refurbished it also, made it theirs, new kitchen there. It's sold. Not from me now. I got $500. Now it's worth $2 million.
$2 million. This is a survival tip we're talking here. So
Yeah.
Real estate is definitely a place or a way to create generational wealth. She's had it a lot of years, but 500 from 11,000 to 500,000, not $500, 500,000.
Yes.
And she's still alive to see that very same house to be sold around or at a value of $2 million.
Now, I didn't get to y'all. I hope you didn't misunderstand.
But she got 5. She's trying to make it small. 500,000 from 11,000. You might as well just call that 500,000 because 11,000. I can give you that today.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I really thought that was a good thing, but
Definitely.
I was able to buy another house.
Definitely. So, the survival tip by real estate.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about these beauties right here. You mentioned that you are an author.
I'm so proud that I wrote the book. I didn't start writing until I was 80, though. I was
80.
80 years old.
80.
And I thought I had something to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting kind of late in my life, and I hadn't documented anything. I needed to put this down somewhere. And I talked about my life, and I named it Oh, you can't see that. But Ceci's Journey. Just in case you want to order, go in the bookstore, Barnes & Noble, wherever you want to get
Amazon.
it. Amazon, that's where it is, make that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about me and my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty.
It's a great book. I've read it. I've given it to friends. A book of survival about her life. And did you publish this book?
Self-published.
Self-published. Yeah. And I've even gone on book tours with her as she's moved about the country.
I have.
You started at 80 and doing book tours to promote the book. This is not the only one. You also have these.
Oh, and then I decided I needed to write something. I had great imaginations, and so many things that went on into my community when I was growing up. Nobody had heard of. And so I wrote fiction. I said, okay, let me try it. I named it. And this is fiction, but it's a little series. This is book 1. And this is book 2. And I'm trying to get ready to start back to finish book 3. When I put my mind to it and get myself all situated where I plan to just zoom it out, and pretty soon you'll be seeing me on here saying, book 3 is ready.
Yeah, this is the series, The Kennards and the Lockwoods. And again, very excellent writing, and I enjoyed reading both of these books. And I saw a peek of book 3, so I'm looking forward to that coming out too. So yeah, excellent writer. You want to get them. You want to appreciate the talent that she is, because this is Dr. Shirley Sanders. So let's talk some about you. You've already kind of talked about leading and developing others.
Right.
Do you have any number on how many other beauticians you actually developed?
I don't really know, because, people don't always tell you what they do. But I did some training, and I taught even though some of them didn't even go to beauty school, but they doing hair now. They know how.
Right.
They can survive. Even my boys learn to do hair.
Okay.
So even though I lost my boys, but they were beauticians.
Okay.
And barbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could make a living at it if they had to.
Right.
Yeah.
And so even that is a survival tip.
Exactly.
Right. You can learn how to do hair.
Yeah.
And we don't want you doing hair on the side, because that's not legal. That's not legal.
It's good
to do your own hair.
You don't have to go to school that long. It's not a long thing like
not.
being a doctor, but you can make a living doing it.
A good living.
I did.
Yeah. Legal.
Yes.
Do it legal.
Right. That's right.
So now this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. Political advocacy. Tell me what your part, and I really want to know how different politics is now from when you started becoming aware. Maybe if you even have some things about before you might be aware about politics. And I'll tell you what I know for sure. When it became an issue about being able to vote, you had to be white, one,
right.
And you had to own real estate in order to be a voter in the United States. And so there's been a lot that has changed since the beginning. Was your father able to vote?
My father was able to vote. I had a small father. But he had to have 2 receipts for registration. He had to register 2 years. That qualified him to vote. If you don't have, I don't know how many people, I don't know whether the white folks had it, but I know we had to have 2 receipts where you registered. And to me, that was really sad, because my father had to take those receipts around in his pocket, in his wallet, for 2 years before he could vote. And you had to have the recent years. The old vote didn't count. You just had to have the last 2 years that existed. You had to have the receipt for those last 2 years, and then you could vote. But my father used it. He was very good. He could write very well. He knew how to write in italic. And so many people in the little city didn't have that. They didn't know how to do that. But they would come and get him, and he would write the signs and different things that they would need in the courthouse. He would go to the courthouse. But one thing he would do, he would make sure, he would ask them for favors too. He said, listen, y'all asked me to get people to vote. They would say, Bertie, well, no, I shouldn't have.
It's okay.
It's not okay. Because he gone, but they may still kill him.
we're laughing about is that was sacred information, similar to teaching a black person, a slave, how to read. You couldn't do that. You couldn't do that. So it was such a sacred and secret thing that even to this day, it made her think, oh Lord, I done said the wrong thing. But he gone now, y'all. He gone.
And I ain't gonna tell you where he buried either.
But you were telling us that
what he do, they would tell him he was big in the church and he's big in the community, because he would go with some of the people that were about to lose their home. They were about to get foreclosed on. They would come to ask him, go with me and help me. See can they give me another 6 months? And he would go to the courthouse. He said, this man got 6 children. Give him some more time. They may charge him some more, but he would save their homes. They know he would. But they would ask him, I want you to go to the churches and I want them to vote for me. And I'm going to give you $15 for everyone you get. Now, $15 was a fortune. But he got all that church, because my daddy got some money too. He would get the $15 and they would get a chance to vote.
Right.
I don't know if they had to have it. Well, maybe they did. I don't know about that, because I just know he would get money. Then when they get in office, my father said, okay, I need some dirt because there's a big hole over there need filling. Or I need a new driveway. I need this. Now, I'm your man now. I want you to come help favor me.
Okay.
So, hey, that was good politician.
So you saying that it was way back then, quid pro quo?
That's what it was.
You had to do something. One hand had to wash the other?
That's what happened.
They don't do that no more, do they?
I don't know about that. I think they do.
Oh!
I think they do. But he know how to use it. He know how far to go, because he know he still was a black man. But he had a lot of pull. He did. He would say, like he saved folks home. Okay. He would talk people, don't give him that much time, because he didn't mean so and so and so. Sure. But everybody knew him. Okay. But he didn't play around. He was really he had been in the military. He was tall. He was skinny. He knew how to take care of his health. And he was kind of like a role model, I think. That's what I call. Okay. And so I tried to be one too. And I did my best trying, because he pushed me too. Okay. Make sure you do right. Don't be cheating folks out. And just give me good morals to live by. Yeah. And my mom was even stronger than he was, because I love my mom so much. Because she was such a good person. I think I'm blessed. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm blessed generations later. Yeah. So I think you said that he had to have the 2 receipts. Did you have to buy those? Yeah, when you go and vote, yeah, you had to buy them. I don't know how much, I don't know what, I think they were $2. Yeah. $2. They were $2 each, and you had to have 2. One was enough. Okay. Yeah. So you had to have the 2 in order to vote one time. Right. Okay. So you had to pay $4 in order to be able to vote one time. Right. Wow. Okay. Yeah, and then the old vote, and next year you got to buy another registration. Right. Okay. It had to be current. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was then, way back then. Are there any other things that you've noticed over the years about how voting has changed, improved, or gotten better, worse, or anything? I am so not in tune with the way they're doing things, because things that's going on now is just as bad as what we went through. I think you're right. Because I saw hangings, I saw people getting killed, and nobody went to jail. I saw people nobody couldn't get in the newspaper. And anytime it was a voting day, we was afraid to go to the city. Right. They would spit on us. And whether we voted or not, they would call us names, and it's voting day. You stay home. So there was a lot of intimidation. And I think now I'm hearing that people, if they go vote, they're going to kill your family. I'm hearing all that stuff. I read the paper every day, and I see all that stuff now. It's going back there, and it's scary to me. It's very scary to me. So we need to get right. That's what I'm saying. So if I hear you correctly, the only thing that's really changed about voting is that we no longer have to pay. Never have to pay for the tax receipt. Yeah. Okay. No, okay. Don't do that. Okay. Do you think I think they outlawed. I wish I could. I'll look up and see when they did that. Okay. All right.
Um, I want to be careful of how I ask this question. I'm not going to ask that question because it will spin us all the way out somewhere else. Okay. Have you been involved in activism, political importance? I'll say it that way.
Oh yes, indeed. I started in the '60s. I voted with Martin Luther King when it was in California there. But okay. I did all that, and I ended up when. What's his name? Obama was there. Oh, I was one of the main chapters here.
Okay.
They was getting ready to have the birthday party here for Martin Luther King, but my sister died, and I had to go back to the funeral.
You said Martin Luther King. You mean Obama?
Obama.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was in the '60s when Obama
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King was marching.
Right.
I was marching then too.
Okay.
I didn't do the marching in Obama. I just did the no marching. I would go downtown. I was a captain
of one of the precincts.
Exactly.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I had to do. Well, I had to come to large house, and they said that we were gonna. All you have to do is open the doors and we bring the food. And I was getting ready, and my sister died.
Okay.
And I had to go back to that funeral. Somebody died. But even to this day, and I get birthday cards from the White House because my name is somewhere there.
Right.
I have to put my plaques back up again.
Okay. Because I think that would be good.
I'm gonna put them back up in my little corner because I'm gonna redo my room. I'm going to put my little stuff. I may put my degree back up.
You should put your degree up.
I'm going to put some.
Dr. Shirley Sanders.
I just sent me pictures of the dog that's on the little back. I got those too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to do it.
You have done great things. You've done great things. So would you say that voting is part of survival?
Exactly. He gives you little leverage in how things go, because if you don't vote, you don't have a voice. You sold your voice away, or didn't. If you just don't go down there because you didn't want to go because you thought it wasn't going to do any good, you lost your voice. Let somebody else take your say.
Yes,
and that's not what I would do. I wanted to vote. I don't care if it's rain, shine, whatever. I vote every time.
Amen.
It's needed.
So important.
And I used to open the door when my grandchildren becoming of age, 18, I said, let's have a reservation. Bring all your friends here. I'm going to have spaghetti dinner for them. And I had it on Saturday.
Okay.
And we signed up some folks.
I love it.
We signed up some people because, and they was glad because now I'm having a spaghetti party, so you bring all my friends.
Didn't know you had a little quid pro quo going.
And I loved it. But them kids still calling me Nana, mother, or auntie.
Okay.
It's still
I love it. A little bribery don't hurt. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've chatted about that. I want to ask you some things about how you have become so beautiful at 92. You've been aging so gracefully.
Just old me. Just old me. I don't feel like that.
Modesty is not good on her. She's 92.
I try to, if you treat the inside right and good, don't put pollution in there. You're going to get some pimples. You're going to get fat. Watch what you treat your body right. Walk. I walk in the house every day. I make 15 laps from my front door to my back door. And that keeps my circulation, I guess, going. It keeps me moving. My niece took me downtown yesterday, and she took me all the house. I walked.
Yeah.
I walked. I did. At 93, I didn't think I'd be walking. I think I'd be in a wheelchair. Not me. I don't want no wheelchair. Now, I'm not putting people down that need it. If you need a wheelchair, get a wheelchair. Right. But I'm blessed not to have to do that.
Right.
And I was so proud that she thought enough of me to take me downtown.
Yeah.
To see some of the nicer things of life. It was beautiful. And the flowers that I smell, I can still smell them.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, do you have any hobbies? Are there things that you're interested in doing?
I love my cross. I do Sudoku, jumbles, whatever though. I do four puzzles every morning. And that's where my day starts, with a cup of hot coffee and a cup of hot ginger tea with lemon. And I sit there and I love doing my puzzles. I'm frustrated if I don't get I take the paper every day. And it's in there 4 and then I do 4. So that's my best hobby. And I read a lot. I like to read. I belong to a book club. As a matter of fact, I'm the president of the book club, and we meet once a month. And that's part of my hobby too. And I'm grateful to have stuff to do at my age.
And the gardening, you still tend the garden.
That's part of the reason I didn't mention is kind of the garden is not right now. It's not in hiatus, I guess, whatever you want to call it. So next month I'll start back, and it's all going to be all about gardening because I'm going to be out there putting stuff in the ground next month. And when it cools down, it get warm again. It's really cold out there now. So you got to know when to plant.
She is the Scrabble queen. She will beat the brakes off of you playing Scrabble. I think the last time we played Scrabble, she took a couple of naps between me trying to figure out my word and still beat the brakes off of me because Jesus Christ, she know every word in the book. So yes, but this is the one that she's being modest again. The YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's Survival Tips with Aunt Shirley. We basically have taken some of the pieces of her studio to share with you today, but she has a studio. She has a studio for the YouTube channel Survival Tips with Aunt Shirley. Tell us about that.
Well, I love that because it gives me an opportunity to share some of the things that I've learned over the years, things that really work, and to help you survive and live better. And it don't cost anything different. Some things you might not even know about. And if I do and share, I think I'll share the things I learned. Like I know how to do the garden. I'll show you how to do some gardening in the house, in your apartments. It's important. And I talk about food. And when I do that, I want you to learn and live a better life, and it'll make me feel better. And I just feel like my survival tips from Aunt Shirley is going to catch on, or is catching on. And I have so many things I want to share with you. So many things I want you to learn. And I get little calls from people saying that they like my YouTube channel. Survival Tips from Aunt Shirley. Come on over and look it for me, and let me tell you some things. Let me share with you. I would love to hear from you too if you want to make comments, so I can maybe something you want me to tell you that I've done. I'd be glad to hear that. Give me the comment and share. When you share, more people get to see it.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing, so that's my final tip for the day. I'm thankful, and I will be seeing you on YouTube. Survivor's Tips from Aunt Shirley.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget you can get her books. They are available Barnes & Noble, Amazon. And the Shirley Sanders work.
You can order it through Walmart if you want to.
Okay.
They don't have them in the store. But you can go in Walmart.
Okay. All right. So, again, make sure.
Walmart.com. That's where you get it that way.
Got it. Walmart.com. Get the book. Go on to Survival Tips from Aunt Shirley on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, share, and tell a friend. Aunt Shirley, she's my Aunt Shirley, but she's yours too. So she would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening. Anything else you want to wrap this up with?
Goodbye, and I see you on YouTube.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.